This was like the fourth time that the bank had called, actually telling her that she was out of money and that she was going bankrupt. This time it was actually real. And there was no way for her to get out of it. There was no extra savings she could pull from. Like, she was financially bankrupt. Like, there was no other way to get around it. There was nothing to be able to, couldn't excuse her way. And so she called her partner and she told him, hey, like, we can't do this. Like, the money is gone. Like, I don't have any more. There's nothing else. We have to file bankruptcy. She started her drive home. It was about like a 30-minute drive home. She started to drive home, and as she pulled in to the driveway, she saw him with his other car loading up his stuff. She was like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm gone. I'm done. I'm out of this. Can't handle this. Used a bunch of excuses, used a bunch of things to be able to excuse it away. But at the end of the day, the main reason why he was leaving was the money had ran out. Have you had this happen in your life where your partner is draining you financially? Using you just for his personal gain, using you as his ATM, using you as a way to just be able to get money from you, to be able to get things from you, and then walks out of your life. Or maybe is still in your life, continuing to bleed you dry. Well, a lot of times when we talk about narcissistic abuse, financial abuse follows it quite quickly in a lot of cases, where narcissists will use and abuse the people in their life to be able to get something out of them so they can feel better about themselves and so they can continue doing the things that they want to do. If you guys are new here, my name is Ben Taylor. I'm a self-aware narcissist on this channel to provide awareness of narcissistic abuse. I break people free from narcissistic abuse mentally and emotionally, whether they're in or out of the relationship, to help them see clearly, help them move forward and make the decisions that they need to make so they can live as the person they're called to be, not the person that has been pushed down over and over from a toxic narcissistic individual. So I used my expertise of being a narcissist and insight of like, hey, this is what he's thinking, this is what's going on. We've built a scripted program to actually help you step through that with community to get free. If you want to know more about that, you can go to claritychallenge.net to be able to see how we actually break people free every single day. What narcissists do is they start to view you as their ATM. Like, you are the means to an end. You are the cash that I get is going to come from you. Now, this could be you're in a relationship or you're in a marriage. He quit his job, he got fired, whatever it might be, and is just relying off of your resources. Maybe you got together and you're dating and you're going through all this, and he's still using you of like, well, I'm just not on my feet yet. I just need your help. Can you co-sign this loan for me? Can you co-sign this car for me because like my credit's bad, because I'm struggling? All these different things will happen, and you'll do it in good faith, thinking like, hey, we've got this relationship together. Like, it feels great. It feels amazing. But a lot of times they're just using you and your financial resources as an extension of their own. Let me just do what I need to do to be able to get what I need to get. And it slowly starts to spend and drain your money without consideration to you. We see this all the time with a sense of entitlement. I'm entitled to my money, and I'm entitled to your money, and you're entitled to your money, but not my money. And we see this where narcissists will feel like, hey, what is yours is mine, and what's mine is mine. And so as a result, they continue moving through life, having the sense of entitlement, believing that you are there to serve them, that you are there to give financial resources. And those are just free at disposal, spending money left and right at the desires while ignoring your financial needs, your struggles, or your goals. A lot of times it will lead to this, first off, like financial instability, where you're like, how are we going to make it? You need to stop. Like, we need to slow this down. And you'll start to try to put on the brakes, but a lot of times by that time it's too late. And you start being dependent on them. They start being dependent on you. Like, there's all different pieces and a giant mix that goes on here. But it makes it difficult for you to actually control your own finances, for you to be able to control what's going on, because he's inundated with all of them. Maybe he's at the place where he started to lock you out of finances. Like, you don't even know how much money you guys have. A lot of times we see people that are left in the dark, survivors that have no clue about their joint accounts or no clue about how much he's making in the relationship, in the marriage. And then whenever the marriage actually comes out, they're like, I had no clue he made that much, and I never saw any of it. They told me that I had to provide for the household items. They told me that I had to do this because we were so low on money. But here he is sitting on thousands and thousands of dollars. Like, you might be in a relationship with your partner where he constantly spends your shared funds, or he makes extravagant purchases on himself, and then he like puts you in a scarcity mode, or he puts you in a mode of like, why are you even spending $5 on this? Like, why are you even spending on you? But it leaves you struggling to actually cover expenses like the bills, like the groceries, Like financial security is in jeopardy because you're like, I don't even know how to do this. And sometimes you have to work harder, you have to get a job, you have to up your business, whatever it might be, to be able to provide for you and for your family because he's not doing it. And it's like he just expects it. Like, I'm entitled to the stuff I want and you'll figure it out. Like, you need to contribute in this relationship too, right? So like, you do this, I'll take care of me. Stop worrying about this. I'll pay for the house, you pay for everything else, whatever it might be. Okay, there's multiple variations. But narcissists do this to like start to like puppeteer your finances, to like put control over you. Now, it might be where he gets complete control and you have no clue of the finances, or it might be the place where he's just dictating what can be spent, what not can be spent. It might be limiting your financial independence. It might be making you feel bad when you spend certain things, or making you feel like you're stupid for doing whatever you're doing in that regard. So you might start by putting control over all finances and all financial aspects of the relationship, monitoring your spending, like asking, hey, what did you spend on? Why did you do this? And asking you like 20 questions until it feels like, what's the point of even spending a couple of dollars if you have to go through a third degree just to be able to spend that money? Or it might restrict you to financial resources, not knowing, like I mentioned before, not knowing what money is actually coming in, what money you have invested into things, what money is in different properties, different houses, all different types of things. You'll like not know what's going on, thinking maybe we're more broke than what we are, or maybe we're better off. Like, he won't let you know. It might even get to a place where he demands your income, where you work a job or you run your business and you have to give a certain amount, or you have to give your entire income over. But the whole point is like, let's leave you financially powerless. Like, this control gets to a place where it helps, where it starts to make you feel like, I don't know what to do, because he dictates all of it. He dictates all the control, all the finances, and this place gets you to a place of feeling helpless and erodes your financial autonomy. Now, besides even that, I kind of want to do like a side note. It's probably one of the biggest things is a narcissist getting you to quit your job. How many of that applies to you? I can't even talk today. How many of you resonate with that? Like, a lot of times you'll have a narcissist like, hey, I make good money. Like, why don't you quit your job? Yeah, it's a career you love. And yeah, it's a career that it's your dream. And it's the career that you want to do. But why don't you do what I want you to do, which is quit your job? And you can stay at home with the kids. You can do like whatever it might be. Okay, a lot of times we'll see a narcissist that will try to have you quit your job. If you quit your job, then you become financially dependent on him. Then it's game over. Like, then you don't have resources and you don't have money set aside. Then you don't have anything that you can do to be able to provide for yourself. Like, that's the whole name of the game of, let me make sure that you're under my control. So you might have where the narcissist, he's controlling all the financial decisions, including how much you're allowed to spend on personal items, on necessities, all different things. Like, this micromanaging makes you feel like you're just a puppet. Like, he's just controlling you. He's speaking through you of what you can do, what you can't do, and you're trapped. You're stuck in this cycle of dependence on the toxic person, on the narcissist. The third thing I want to bring up is like your financial worth is their gain. Now, with this, a lot of times we're talking about exploiting assets, where they're going to exploit your like assets that you have, financial resources, investments, properties, whatever it might be, okay, to try to get their personal gain without remorse. Whether that's selling, whether that's bartering, like whatever it might be, it's using the things that you already have that are yours, but using them to their advantage. Narcissist sees your property, your assets, your financial resources as opportunities of like, let me capitalize on this to get what I want in the moment. This is why you're going to see narcissists that will try to get you to co-sign for stuff. They'll try to get you to co-sign for loans or a car or like multiple things, further to entrap you in the relationship and to be able to use you to get what they want. Okay, you'll see this so many times. The hard part is so many people fall for it. They're like, well, maybe I should do this. Maybe I should help him out this way. Maybe we're not going to be together, but I can at least help you out this way. And then he defaults on it, or he stops paying, and you're the one liable for it, and you're the one stuck in debt because it was a play for him to get what he wanted in the moment, but then when he couldn't continue to pay or provide, you're the one that got hit with the bill. Now, this might be where he manipulates you into sharing ownership of getting on the house or getting on a car or control other valuable assets that you have, only to use them for his benefit. All of a sudden you turn around and he's sold property, or he's liquidated investments without your consent, like trying to make sure that he's used and done the things that you have for his own gain. Think about it this way. You might jointly own a valuable property with your partner. Instead of respecting your ownership rights, he might pressure you into selling it to finance whatever lifestyle he wants, to finance something and it might go to something completely different or what he wants. Okay. But it leaves you in this huge, significant financial loss. The thing you need to understand is when you're getting out of a relationship with a narcissist, a lot of times you're struggling of like, what do I do? I don't know if I can survive on my own. Like, there's ways to be able to make money and there's ways to be able to move forward. But the thing is, you have to be free typically first, especially when you're going through this. A lot of times you'll lose different aspects, he'll take different aspects, and you might want to stay and fight for a long period of time. That might drain you even more versus getting out of the relationship, starting over again, building it from scratch, whatever it might be, so that you can be free. You have to understand what is more valuable, your freedom or sometimes finance piece. Sometimes you can work it through with the court system that you get an amount and you get out and it works. Sometimes people just leave and they're like, I'm done, I'm out, before they get hit with more financial burden, with more financial strain. Can be super hard and super difficult for people to work through this, because getting free from a narcissist oftentimes is putting you in a situation of developing this codependency on them through finances. So what I would encourage, if you're stuck in a toxic narcissistic relationship right now, you might need to look at getting a job. You might need to look at developing a side hustle or a business that is actually going to help you provide for you, so you have an extra stream of income. Not one that you hand over, you give to him, but one that you maintain so that you can actually move forward and make the decisions that you need to make. If you're not able to make those decisions, it might be based on the finances. And so we need to build up the finances so you have the capacity to make the decisions that you need to make for your benefit, for your growth, for your change. If we can help at all, please reach out. You can go to rawmotivations.com if you want to grab a time to talk, and we can move from there and to work on your healing. Just remember, with this financial abuse and with narcissistic abuse, there is no excuse for it. And we want to be able to break you free from it to help you move, grow, and change into the person you're called to be.